Yo, what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Loose Bolts Garage. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're gonna go ahead and get this 300ZX engine onto the engine stand. Pretty simple stuff. I just figured I'd make a video on it. If I'm gonna do it, might as well. Also, we're gonna work on disassembling the engine a little bit, see how far we can get in this episode by doing that. I think the next objective after we get everything kind of mounted and where we want it to be, I'm gonna start working on this engine kind of here on the side. I really want to tuck a lot of these wires. I want to delete a bunch of this stuff that's not really necessary. I'm going to be doing that. If you guys are interested in that later on how to do a good engine tuck, stay tuned in, man. We'll figure it out together. Without further delay, let's go ahead and get this thing knocked out. Look at that. Can't even see through the engine bay. Look how dark it is. So much wire is attached. We're definitely going to work on removing all of this. First, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and, you see the eBay clutch. All right. Keep in mind I bought this engine like this, so don't judge me on the parts that it has. We did damage the clutch here in the last episode. I don't think that's fixable, honestly. So hopefully the spline where the spline enters isn't too banged up. And basically, if anyone's interested in this clutch, it's free. Just got to pay for shipping. But again, I think it's damaged. I don't think that's no good. So I'm probably just going to toss it. We're going to remove this pressure plate right here. Let's go ahead and get this done. Easy peasy. All right, so we start with the 12-inch socket. Just pop these things off. Got a better idea. There we go, this should speed things up. Well, if it wasn't broken before, sure is now. So I don't know if you can see that. You see how I messed that up right there? Huh. All right, now we got to remove these. Are they the same size? Got this one down as a 9/16. I'm gonna shimmy it off. There it is. Whew. There it goes, boys. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I know this is a flywheel, obviously, but All right, guys, so long story bolt is, or I mean short story bolt, or bolt story short. Yeah, the bolt story short is that I needed shorter bolts. The ones I had were way too long. Again, I said I had the 10 inches. They were not cuttable. Or I should say I just didn't have the tool to cut them. So ran to the store, just got some new bolts just to kind of get the hassle out of the way. Got 4-inch bolts. 4-inch bolts should do it. It kind of just depends on your bracket, your mounting bracket. Because of this thickness right here, this is about 3 inches here, and you need about like another maybe inch to stick out. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for bolts. My nuts are in the bag. Haven't even opened them yet. So let's go ahead and mount this thing. This last bolt here in the bottom right, it doesn't thread into anything. So I'm gonna just put a nut on the other side and call it a day. All right, now we tighten everything back down. Matter of fact, you want to adjust your mounting bracket before you tighten everything down. So that would make sense. That way it sits in the middle right there, like. All right, guys, now that we got that engine stand on, we want to make sure before we tighten everything down, get everything kind of centered to the engine. Try to have these arms somewhat symmetrical. You can see I have like 2 down here that are somewhat flat, and then the other ones kind of slanting at an angle. Overall, is to distribute the weight evenly. You would lock this bracket into place, and then you would tighten down all your bolts. Again, I'm no expert mechanic or anything like that. This is for automotive research, is what I'm calling it. So whatever you see here, don't try to teach it in a school, because it may not get you anywhere. But if it works for me, then maybe it'll work for you. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's more or less, if it works, then do it. And, you know, the manual, you can always refer back to the manual. That's not gonna tell you how to mount an engine to an engine mount. It's the little things that they don't tell us. So, you know what I mean? Like, is there a proper way to mount your engine to an engine stand? Most likely there is. Do I know it? I do not. So am I gonna do what works? Absolutely. That's mounted on there right now. All we gotta do is lift this up and put it on the engine stand and we're good to go. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, after everything's bolted in, let's go ahead and just turn this slowly. All right. right, so we got some clearance issues here. Okay, got a problem. All right, boys, that's about it. Finally got it done. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it for the most part. Is my hair all crazy? My hair's all crazy. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is how we get the engine on the engine stand. As you can see, it's there. It hasn't fallen just yet. Probably won't be able to sleep tonight. I'm gonna be waiting to hear something fall in my garage, right? But I'm gonna start disassembling everything, getting this thing ready to go. The plan is basically to rebuild this engine unless there's something that is deemed unsalvageable or something like that, to where we have to get a whole new one. Hopefully that's not the case. Definitely not trying to have that be the case, but we'll see when we start tearing this thing apart. Main issue that it had, if you guys haven't watched the other videos, it had low compression due to like some fuel problem most likely, or maybe even injectors actually. I know the previous owner told me the injectors were replaced, and that may have something to do with it. I never checked to see what size they were, but basically I feel that the piston rings were worn, or they were flushed out, meaning they were getting either too much fuel or not enough. And basically the fuel was getting to the cylinders and smoking. There was a lot of smoke in the car, and again, low compression in a lot of different cylinders. I don't even remember. I want to say 4 out of 6. So really big issue. We have to go ahead and disassemble everything, get to that, and see what the problem really was. We got to see what type of condition this engine is in. It is a rebuilt engine from what I can tell, so hopefully they did a good job at rebuilding it. We'll see once we get into everything, see where all the mess kind of lies at. And again, it's something that I bought unseen. I didn't get a chance to do a compression test or anything like that, so I wouldn't have known. Either way, I knew I was getting into getting a project car anyway, so here it is, and it needs everything to it, so I'm able to learn a lot from it. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, go ahead and, you know what to do, man. I don't even have to say it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.